Hi guys, welcome to Vlogmas Day 9. The current state of my room should not be discussed at this moment because it is a living and breathing mess. So bad. So for this video, I'm going to be wrapping gifts and going over books that I've read this year and my reviews of them and giving you book recommendations because I love reading. Also, peep the Christmas pajamas. So we have a ton of gifts. Like, this is a lot of gifts, especially this thing. This thing is heavy as anything. I have so many gifts I throw out. So it's exciting and fun, but it's also like a pain in the butt. I also can't show anything because my family watches these videos, and so otherwise it would spoil it for them. And now my pants don't match my shirt. Don't talk about it. I had shorts on that kind of matched a little bit more because of red, but I didn't want to wear them because the ground's really cold because my room doesn't have AC. I didn't really log my whole reading journey, I feel like, this year. I just started this in August-ish time, so it's not like it's like the whole entire year in a sense. And next year, I promise, when I do another one of these videos, like, there'll be a lot more books. It'll just be better because I'll actually like vlog stuff. Anyways, so let's begin wrapping some of these gifts. The first book that I officially logged. I read Divergent this year, so we're gonna do that one as the first one. I don't really remember much. Like, I didn't write any reviews specifically about it, but I remember really liking the book. I watched the movies before I read the book, so I already knew kind of what happened. So I read that book, really liked it, so much better than the movies. You know how like, people are like, oh, books are better than the movies? And like, it's like to the point where it's like annoying. I really like that book because the romance in the movie is like a little bit, but it's really not that much. But then in the books, it's so much more. And you're like, bro, they took out so many scenes. So much better of a book. I rated it, I think, a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. All right, next book that I read this year was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Also, Divergent was by Veronica Roth. I loved this book. Loved it. It was so good. It's about these two kids and they meet in New York. I can't remember their names, so don't ask me what they are. And one is like very factual and like, oh, believes only in science, and the other one's like, no, I believe in love and all that stuff. So the guy's the one who's like, oh, I believe in love and all that. And then the girl's like, no, I only believe in facts and science and data and if you can prove something. And all that, right? But it's super cool because they have a lot of different perspectives in it that like you wouldn't think would be in it. And it's only like a page or two of that perspective. But one of it is from like the security guard that's like mentioned. And like that's so weird because it's like, why would you like bring it from the security guard's perspective when like that's not the main character of the book? But it's like really interesting because you get to see all these different perspectives and like how they view life. Very cool book. Definitely a good like read. Like I would definitely recommend it to people because it was just super interesting. I didn't like the ending at first, but it had an epilogue, right? Then I read that and that was a good ending. So I was like, okay, I'm satisfied. I was so happy about the other ending though. I really was. All right, I'm gonna put little stickers on it so that I know whose is whose and I don't forget about it. So the first gift I wrapped was Sophia, so I'm gonna put an S on it. I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I feel like maybe I'm a little bit too relaxed on my ratings, but whatever. Ooh, I'm literally such a good shopper. These are nice. These are really nice. Next book that I read was Insurgent. This is also by Veronica Roth. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. And that was because it wasn't as good as the first one. That's what I wrote in my review. But I did like how the plot continued, and also it is a lot better than the movies once again because the storyline makes so much more sense. Like in the movies, I didn't really like the second movie to begin with, but I was like, oh, it's not like terrible, whatever. But like looking like now from reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, the second book makes so much more sense than the first one. And it's like, how did I even like? I was literally getting frustrated when I rewatched the movies because I was like, this does not happen. The next book I have, and It Ends With Us. I read this with my friends and it was so interesting. Loved it. Such a good book. Oh my gosh. And it's like based off of her mom's experience, which is like, wow. It talks about abuse, and like it makes you really understand where the victim comes from, because a lot of times girls, or even sometimes guys, will stay in abusive relationships, and you wonder, oh, why would they stay in that relationship when it's so bad? But this makes you understand that, and it's like really an eye-opener, and it was beautifully written. I love the way that Colleen Hoover writes. I mentioned this in my last video. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. Me and my friends also read the sequel of this one, which is It Starts With Us, and we read that right after. And this was also a really good book. Didn't like it as much as It Ends With Us, but that's just because it's just a totally different book. That's really what it is. But it's still good, and I really did like it.
Her outfit actually sucks.
I know.
Here, let me do my book review. I'm reading Twilight. We are on page... So far, it's actually really good.
Why didn't you get it in the frame? Well, she's reading Twilight as we speak, but I've read it in the past. I think last year I read it. Really good book. I like the series. I thought it was good. Definitely liked it better than the movies. Do you like it better than the movies so far? She watched the first one.
I mean, it's less cringy.
The first one is very similar to the movies. Then the other ones are a little bit different as they go on. Alright, we're gonna review also Everything Together.
I kind of forgot about it.
That was such a short book. Literally took me like, how many days it took me? It took me a day.
Well, okay, well,
took me a day.
That's a fast reader. It took me like a couple weeks, cause like
couple weeks. That was such a short book. Half of it was just like.
It was, but you know, when you're Sophia, it's gonna take you a while. Especially because I kept on stopping reading, and just like stop reading for like a couple days, and then like read it again. But it was a good book. I kind of like the pictures because it was like cool.
Give it 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't like my favorite thing in the world. It was just like too short.
The movie was good though.
The movie was good. Next book.
I think I like the movie better than the book.
Next book is a book I did not like. I did not like it.
Ugly Love?
I would never ever recommend it. Ugly Love. People are like, oh, Ugly Love, I love it so much. It's such an amazing book. It is such a terrible book. Don't read it. Don't waste your time.
She told me about it.
I literally felt so meh after reading it. I was like, what do I even do anymore?
Ugh.
How do you describe a book that makes you feel like that? Anyways, Ugly Love, terrible book. Literally hated it. Don't even read it. Don't waste your time. It was like so dumb. Like, that's the best way to describe it. It was dumb. Next is The Maze Runner.
I watched the movie. Never read.
Watch the movie. The movie's very similar to the books.
I really like the
almost
movie,
identical.
so maybe I should watch it. I mean, read it.
The only bad thing about The Maze Runner is that it's like a slow book. Oh my goodness. So slow. I was reading and I was like, when is anything interesting going to happen? And then it happens like halfway through the book. And then you're like, okay, I can finish reading it because like it's interesting.
So maybe I won't
And the same thing happened with Scorch Trials. I was reading it. I was bored out of my mind.
So why did you continue to read it? Like, that just would not be
Well, like, it wasn't like terrible. Like, it wasn't like it was like a bad book. It was just like, I was just like, nothing is happening. And then eventually, oh my gosh, Scorch Trials, so good though. It really was really good. Like, I loved
4 out of 5 stars.
I loved like everything that happened. Once it got like so interesting, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot put this book down. And then also there was like a jump scare in the book and I was like, oh my gosh. The Upside of Falling mid-book, very cringe a lot of the times. Like, it wasn't like a terrible book, it was just really cringy, and it was like, ugh. It was like cringe, really cringe. But like, it wasn't bad. And I liked the ending and everything. Like, everything was good about it.
The Spanish Love Deception.
Literally, oh my gosh, Spanish Love Deception, such a good book.
I was
so good.
tempted to give this 5 stars.
However,
But
it had too much spice. Too much spice. Not my thing. Not my thing. But if you take all of that spice, such a good book. Oh my gosh! It's like enemies to lovers, except one of them is not really an enemy. Like, the one actually does like the person, and so good. Oh, and it's like a slow burn book, so it is so good because it's like just the little things like you see throughout the book, and you're like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, and then eventually, you know, they get together, and it's like
The American Roommate Experiment.
That one is the second book of the series, but it's from like, it's like totally different in a sense because it's not talking about the characters in the first one. It just mentions the best friend in the second one. That one was also really good. Loved it. Not as much as the first one, but I really liked it. Had a little bit of spice in that too, so not my thing. But it was really cute. A little bit less cringy than the first book, because in the first book, the guy says baby, and it's so cringe. It's really cringe. Oh, it's so cringe. And then I was looking at other reviews of the book, and they mentioned it, and they were like so off-putted by this. The way that the American Roommate experiment ended,
don't spoil.
It was really cute.
Anyways, lastly, The Summer I Turned Pretty. Ending on a bad note.
The Summer I Turned Pretty, hated that book. Literally loathed it. I don't understand how people are like, oh my gosh, I love it. Like the beach vibes and everything. And
we're
like,
gonna read this whole thing.
Love Triangle. I love that book. That was so terrible. Would never recommend.
I think I already read that. Like,
and then one of my friends, Maddie, she was like, oh yeah, you should read the second one because the second one's so much better. And I was like, I can't do it because I'm literally like brain dead. I have 2 more books I have to review. The first one is the one that I'm currently reading on my phone, and that is The Tourist Attraction.
Oh.
So far, I like that book.
Are you reading 2 books right now?
Yes, but that was unintentional. The Tourist Attraction. So far, I like the book. Like, I'm only like 20-ish% done.
And this is the first.
So that's the one book.
And you've been reading that for a day?
No, I've read this for a while, but
okay, I
haven't been able to finish it because of Vlogmas. You're the reason why I haven't been able to read.
Shame on you.
Literally. Anyways, like that book. It's pretty good. Fairly interesting. It's like a sunshine, grumpy, romance type book. So the guy's grumpy and the girl's like a sunshine. And I just like it. Final book I'm reviewing is When in Rome. Love that book. So good. So far, love it. And I like the way she writes too.
Didn't you just talk about it to me? Yeah, you did.
I think there was one cringy moment. But other than that, really good.
Morning routine, no.
But also a big problem recently is I'm working so many hours of the day, and I have school too. I literally am busy from 10:50 to 6 p.m. Where's the time to edit and where's the time to film? There is none. There's literally none in the day. And that's the state of my mental and physical health. Okay, I'm going to pause the video, we're going to read, and then I'll come back and finish wrapping gifts. Okay, mini update before I continue wrapping gifts. So, Sophie and I just finished reading. That's been kind of our nightly routine. Part of our nightly routines is reading together. Like, the best thing ever because I love reading. And yeah, I'm going to go wrap some gifts. I didn't upload Friday or Saturday, so that's my bad. But also, I didn't have the time to. So this is going up Sunday, and I'm going to try and get another video up today as well, because today is Sunday when I'm posting this. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and see you guys for the next video.